What is up, you beautiful dandelions? Welcome back to another episode of CS News. Yeah, I pretty much told you guys a couple of videos ago that G2 News would be breaking at the point of that video going out, and I was right. G2 now announcing their 5th member, and it kind of took everyone by storm, and it's probably why you're here, as they have now announced Snax to be joining the roster supposedly as an IGL and also reuniting with Coach Taz. Yes, we are talking about two of the Virtus Plow, the OG Virtus Pro guys, now back on a modern-day G2 roster, one as an IGL, one as a coach, and a lot of people out there, probably rightfully so, were very much surprised and shocked by this decision.
Yo,
No siema dziku, co tam, kooperat?
can you say G2CS?
G2CS.
And I saw this, and I was about to go to dinner, guys, and I was like, what happened? Because minutes before this, I think people pretty much knew because Gamer Legion had let Snax go, and this caused a lot of people to say a lot of different things. There was obviously a lot of hate and controversy around this decision. You know, why Snax? And if he is set to be the IGL, is he proven to be on a roster of the caliber that is G2 with their talent? Maui Snake having a field day, guys. All right, I can't even show all the tweets that he was saying. He was drawing back on the Hooksy stuff, Hooksy being better than Snax, and feeling bad for Nico and Munassi, and especially Nico, and many others wondering why this was the decision that G2 came to. Around the same time, Nico finally done with the debate about him being the IGL, saying, nope, it is not the time for me to do so. And I'm just, like, part of me is just, like, stunned because G2 loves having eyes on them. They do a great job because this is, whether you like it or not, a debatable choice by them, but it is also a choice that has everyone still talking about G2, but also speculating on what their future is going to be if this is your roster. You pick up a young gun and a very, very superstar up-and-coming talent, that being Malbs. You have a very, very solid core trio, that being Hunter and Nico and Munassi, you know, but two of those guys, are they going to stick around on G2 in the long term? I don't know. But then you add Snax, who, I mean, yes, is a great character. He's a big boy, all right? He's definitely a presence on stage, but by a lot of eyes out there, not relatively proven to be on this team. And so, yes, I will be watching. Yes, there will be plenty of haters hoping for the downfall of G2. And will this be the long-term future? We don't know. So what do you guys think about G2's roster moves? And by the time my next video comes out, they'll probably have added a 6-man, maybe a 7th. Maybe Nico and Munassi leave by then. I don't know. But what do you guys think about G2's roster changes? Will this get it done? All right? Could have had Stu at this point. And I would actually say the news that I was most excited to talk to all of you guys about today was a great interview done by HLTV. The full one should be linked down below. It was actually Moses talking to ZywOo, and one particular point he talked about was him disliking Fane and kind of rather being the unknown player when he was coming up with AAA and other parts in the CS scene when he was much younger and before he was known as one of the best players of all time in CSGO and whatever his future is going to be. ZywOo talks about what it's now like to be in the limelight as a pro player and to always be critiqued and analyzed, and how he prefers what it used to be.
Can you talk about that a little bit? Because like early in your career, obviously, everyone kind of looked at you as being so good for so long. Like you were incredible from day one when you stepped up into the pro scene. But back in those days, there wasn't as much attention perhaps on you as a player in terms of, you know, now the criticism kind of hits of like ZywOo might not taking over games. ZywOo, is he actually the best player in the world? But back then it was just like everyone got to just enjoy the ZywOo we had. Can you feel that nowadays when you look back on that part of your career? Are you like, man, I wish I could just have that moment where people just enjoy ZywOo?
Yeah, sometimes I will enjoy it. Just sometimes I will enjoy to people don't know me and I'm playing CS. And of course, but it cannot be possible anymore. But I will enjoy to be like, to people don't know me. Yeah, I don't know why, but I will enjoy more. I think playing more CS just to. It's not like I don't like celebrity, but I feel like not insecure, but I feel like I don't know. I don't like
so many eyeballs on you.
Yeah. I don't like. I can say I don't like that kinda. I like to be on my side. I like to be the shadow of someone kinda. If someone is in front of me, I would prefer kinda. Yeah. I don't like to be like when people talk on me on stage.
Yeah.
I'm like this. I don't like.
I feel like that's just something that we probably can't really recognize. Like I've never really been a superstar, so I can't imagine what it would be like to be an up-and-comer. Like you can mention so many names in the history of CS, but recency, right? When it comes to someone like Mongolz, right? Largely undiscovered until now, and could kind of sit back in the shadows and have those clutch moments without having necessarily the pressure of being a headline name. And now when he's on G2, people have expectations, right? He has that high transfer fee, probably a pretty solid salary too. Expectations have now been placed on his shoulders, and with it probably comes a pressure he's never felt before. That's just me guessing what ZywOo is trying to speak to here, and it's got to be crazy to have someone like ZywOo, who over the past few years has become one of the most famous names, not just in Counter-Strike, but in esports. That's got to be extremely, a tall task. And it's got to be crazy. And so to hear him speak to that was really cool, and a really good part of the interview, and a great question prompted by Moses. Another one, though, was him talking about when he first decided to pick up the op. And when it came down to it, he picked up the op instead of the AK because he wanted to join a team in particular with his buddy. And that is how he came across, again, being one of the best all time, picking up a weapon he maybe would not have. Just altered his entire future because he wanted to join a team.
I think the op is still really, really, really good.
Having been the best player in the world with the AWP, you're kind of one of like the fun test cases of someone who also likes to use the AK-47 quite frequently. You kind of bounce between them nowadays.
I mean, it's funny to say because at the beginning, when I first joined my first team in AAA, I wasn't an opper. I was playing more AK.
You never really wanted to be an opper. It just kind of fell into your lap.
It's just because at the beginning, my friend wanted me to like play with them because I needed opper, and I was good with it. So I started to play with op, and they said, "Do you want to play with op?" In the end, and I said yes because I wanted to play with the team.
Yeah.
So I started to play op like this, and at the end I like to play both because I had the feeling of killing people with M4, AK, and trying to spray transfer or anything. I like it so much.
Just get bored killing people with the op. You're like,
I mean, it's not boring, but I feel it's too slow.
Sure.
AK you can be more fast for that. So that's why I prefer but the efficiency of the op is way super.
So that was ZywOo speaking on fame and kind of disliking it. I don't know. I just love hearing pros open up about these kind of things, especially ZywOo, kind of a hard guy to get a hold of. But to hear him speak on that is very interesting, and we'll see how his future goes as well. That interview was great. Make sure to go check out the full thing. Speaking of what might be one of the all-time greats as we span into the next decade or so, Donk has now done it yet again in the news. I know you guys are super surprised by this one. He has now won again when it comes to FACEIT Top Player of the Month over in Europe. Back-to-back months at the #1 spot. He now finds himself $25,000 richer, money that he certainly needs. He has not won enough MVPs in tournaments yet in his career, so certainly money he needs. And just as a reference point, they also make sure to add that he was a couple hundred elo ahead of the nearest competitor, while also playing significantly less matches, as they do note. And a reference point as well, you got Mongolz down there in, I believe, the 8th spot, just to showcase how Donk is loving FACEIT. Someone like me would never come across Donk and FACEIT, but we actually talked to Crimbo a long time ago in an interview that will be released eventually on this channel. And when we asked him who tries the hardest, no matter if it's practice, scrims, for fun, FACEIT, whatever, his first answer was Donk, and then Mongolz. And this just proves that. These kids take this game very seriously at all times. Congratulations to Donk. And I didn't expect this to be a perfect transition point, but speaking of maybe someone who enjoys himself a bit more, has a few more fun moments that might not surprise you, that's going to be Mongolz Senzu. All right, this clip was actually on Reddit. Of course, I got to give shouts to the Reddit clippers out there, and thanks to all of you guys who also send us these clips. He was having the time of his life, just jumping around, USPing, and doing what Senzu does best.
Guys. Kata humbeno. Kata ni gonsan guys. Oba. Энэ тэнэг тоглоом байна guys. Өөр юм тоглох уу?
I will never have a game out there where I can just be casually calming and then just bouncing around and just headshot, you know. I wish I could be that guy. I continue to love the Mongolz and their entire content, and they've also been streaming, I believe, recently on YouTube. A lot of them have been streaming FACEIT matches, so on and so forth. Good content to check out. But as per usual, we hope you guys all enjoy. Again, for any reminders out there, for anyone who missed the last couple of videos, we are currently at the Esports World Cup. Wish we were here for the Counter-Strike portion, but that is why videos have been a bit behind as of late. But that's also the reason for the hotel room. So we hope you guys all enjoy, and I'll see you back here sometime soon for more CS news. Drink water, coffee. Okay, bye.